What's up, and welcome back, everybody. It's Proficient Profanity, and I'm Bubba, and I've got Carter here with me, man. How you been doing?
Hey man, it's been good. It's been good. Staying busy, man. How have you been lately?
Brother, I've been feeling successful, and I feel great, and it's good to be back with you guys.
Man, speaking of success, when you feel successful, you feel unstoppable. You know what I mean? Like you can conquer anything. Whatever you set your mind to and you hit that goal, you're going out there, you're achieving, you're feeling empowered, you're feeling good. It really changes your perspective on a lot of things. And that's the question that I want to talk about and is on my mind a lot lately because we as a society and as people have gotten misconstrued as to what the definition of success is. So, what does success mean
Right.
to you, Bubba? What does it mean in particularly to you?
Man, to be honest, success for me is growth, whether it be personal growth. A lot of people's minds instantly go to bank account or physical items or monetary things. And for me, it really stems all the way back to something that I could even pull from my high school years. We had a brand new coach come in, one leave that had been very successful as far as his track record. And when the new coach came in, his philosophy was if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you perform good. And so he got us uniforms. He got our last names on our back. He got us good looking cleats. And we're from a very small town. And so realistically, being able to feel good, we just performed so much better and it really built our camaraderie. So, man, I guess to really say holistically, success means to me is growth, and not everybody can grow in leaps and bounds, but at least we can make progress. And sometimes we hit plateaus. I definitely do in the gym sometimes. I do in my life as a husband and as a father. But for me, it definitely would have to be progression.
I wholeheartedly agree with you in that, but I think at the same time, we need to look at success and goals in particular as independent. Just because somebody gets up and goes and buys a brand new Jeep Wrangler straight off the lot and paid cash for it, that definition of success is success to them, and it doesn't need to be the same definition of success to you. Success to one individual is completely different. Success for someone may be getting up off of the couch and going outside when they have a fear of being around other people, or they're shy, or they're nervous, or they get up and they get out of their they get out of their uncomfortable zone and just step out into the world. It can mean getting that new promotion at work that you really wanted and that you were striving for. That's success. It doesn't matter the position. It's just we let society dictate and other people's opinions dictate what success means to our own selves, and it really has created a negative connotation that needs to be changed. View success to you what it means to you. Don't measure yourself to someone else and their level of accomplishments. If someone else, man, if they're driving brand new cars in a big ass house, and you're in an apartment, listen, you still are accomplishing goals. You're doing things that you want to do, and that's what it needs to be about, man. A lot of that has
Right.
just been so hammered in from social media and what we see of in other people's lives, and we forget what it really means.
Right. People just like ignore their sex life or they'll be indoors 24/7 with literally like zero exercise, fast food every day, you know, 8 to 15 even hours of screen time, no contact with friends or family, or even worshiping like ridiculous celebrities and what they are saying success is, but that's what it is to that celebrity, not us. And then people become keyboard warriors and just arguing with strangers online while mindlessly consuming the news. And then they turn around, they're like, well, why do I feel bad all the time? Well, you don't have your form of success, whether it's a small amount of weight loss or being more active or doing something to better yourself. Just knowing yourself and looking inwards and being able to, carpe diem, seize the day. Just take it on, and don't get me wrong, I have very many bad days, and some days I really lean on people for that. But other days I wake up and I'm ready to go get it. And you just have to take advantage of those feelings. And success is very much a habit. It is very much a habit. So getting out there, doing what you got to do, I think really involves success and helps with that progression of it, man. That's just kind of my look. And social media is really driving a lot of that, and there's a lot of pros and cons to it, and it's just, we really have to figure out where the line has to be drawn inside of that social media, I feel, for us in our, everyday lives.
Social media, this is like I don't want to say it's a hot topic because it's really not anymore, as social media as a whole is, man, it's both good and bad for society at the same time. It's allowing people in a good way to reconnect with long lost friends, people that they haven't seen in many years, or people that they have completely forgot about in their lives, and able to rekindle relationships and go back and, hang out with old friends or view old memories on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it may be. But at the same time, the negative side of that is just horrible, because it's really prevalent for, I would say, the younger generation and really everyone in general, but those most susceptible are younger folks. And we see those people, those internet famous celebrities that we see that have grown big on TikTok or Instagram or social media or any of the platforms. It doesn't really matter, but we see their
Mhm.
success that they have, and then we feel bad about ourselves because we don't have the money they have, or have the big nice house that they have, or look like they do. But at the same time, man, we've got to realize, take a step back and look and think, these people are only going to want to show you what they want to show you. It's very rare that people are going to show you every single aspect of their life. Most of the time, everyone wants to, in some way, form, or fashion, be liked or be accepted, even
Right.
subconsciously, even if you outwardly deny that. But, we're not, we as people just look at that really pretty girl on the internet, or that really buff dude on the internet, and say, man, why don't I look like him? I feel bad about myself because I don't look that good, or I'm not that pretty, or whatever, or I don't have all those things. And we've got really got to draw ourselves back and come back into reality, and realize that everything is doctored and curated. Filters, man, filters are just, nobody looks like that in real life, like, even as
Right.
good as you might look, it's not the truth. And it's such a shame that, and the whole topic of false information and misconstrued truths, because people twist the narrative to whatever they want it to be, and we as a society just blindly accept whatever it may be. It doesn't matter the topic, but man, it's tough, man. Social media, I've never been a big proponent of it. I'm not, really that deep into Facebook or any of that. I mean, I'll post on there occasionally and check on stuff, but I try to stay away from it for the most part, just because I see more negative than I see positive. Man, what do you think about that? What do you see?
Man, the biggest part of it's going to be that second word, media, and how it's controlled and how it's ran. And there's a lot of amazing things. We're seeing people that could have never been successful without social media become successful
Mm-hmm.
and do amazing things. And they're reaching out to people, they're taking care of one another. There are amazing things out there about it. And just like you said, connecting with people, and staying in the know with how our family and friends are doing. It's really amazing that we can stay together in those times and connect with our friends in Australia, or our friends in Japan, wherever they may be in the world, with us being in the United States. It's so awesome to have that power at our fingers and be able to learn things. I mean, I've learned more from TikTok in like the past 2 years than I thought I ever would. Just and funny too, like closing the lid on a Chick-fil-A salad thing and then pulling the ranch through it just to make it easier, whether it's something like that or something more serious like how to build something or whatever. But when we have young gentlemen and young ladies getting on social media and seeing women portray themselves and men portray themselves a certain way, and they're like, "Oh, I have to behave like that or I'm worthless." They start comparing themselves to that media and start just following like sheep into that. And you've really got to have either the ability to distinguish between the right and wrong sides of it and develop your own hypothesis and everything of what's happening in front of you, versus just taking it with blind faith. I'm on the opposite side of the coin. I really like social media. I really think it's an amazing platform that you can do amazing things with. But there definitely are a lot of dark sides to it. And, being able to keep up with friends and family is my biggest proponent of it. But it
Absolutely.
sucks to see how it's hitting our kids in the next generation and what it's become, the massive advertisement platform and monetary grinding out of it. I really just want to be able to use it to learn new cultures and meet new people and learn different perspectives, man. And that's what it's about, is understanding there is a perspective to everything. And that's what I love about it. It's opened my eyes over the years.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Well, I think we've been talking a lot on somber tone, and not as lighthearted as we normally would. I think we need to spice it up, man. Be a little bit more lively. Let's look at whether or not a bowl is considered a bowl if it's not round. Just an idea. What do you think, man?
So, man, my wife and I kind of got into this one the other day, just absolutely laughing our butts off. We were looking, she told me to grab a bowl. Well, I grabbed one of our glass Tupperwares that was the perfect size, similar to a bowl, but it was a square instead of round. And she was like, "Well, that's not a bowl." I was like, "Well, I took a bowl and put contents into it, put it into there. It was the same exact size. It was just square instead of round." So, is that still a bowl or not?
Hmm. I think we would have to look at the actual Webster's definition of what is considered a bowl. I think it would just be like if it holds something, you know what I mean? Like if it's holding contents, it's considered a bowl. I don't think it necessarily needs to be round
Needs to be
because
a round container.
I mean, we can have a star
Specifically.
shaped container. I mean, it to me, I don't give a shit whether it's round or not. But I mean, some people are sticklers. You know what I mean? Like, I need that. I need that bowl. Everyone, you know, what I'm talking about. Everyone has that favorite cup or that favorite bowl, whether you want to admit it or not.
110%.
Mainly with cups. I got a favorite cup I like to drink out of.
See, I have a favorite cup, but lately I feel like I have, because my wife loves these things. I feel like I have about a billion of them. I have a billion coffee cups. I have a billion Starbucks of those straw drinks that we just have tons of. And I'm like, which one's your favorite one? And then she just like wraps them all up in her arms and she's like, this one. Bro, how many cups do I need, man? Like, we seriously have like two cabinets full of just cups, bro. Like,
So I'm
you know
glad
what
I'm
I'm
not the
saying?
only problem because we have an entire like 3 shelf cabinet full of cups. I'm like, we use like the same 5 cups. Why do we have this many? Like, I'm just like, at some
Bro,
point, I'm like, we need to get rid of these.
I'm saying, dude. And then, like, a lot of them aren't really breaking because, they're a pretty durable plastic. They're pretty easy to clean. So they last for quite a while. I don't know why I have 676,000 of just cups.
See, I don't know about you, but in my house, we have like most of them are Yeti or Yeti knockoff cups, and they're just all in there.
Okay.
Or there's some of like the plastic cups. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
Right, right.
plastic ones. And I'm just like, why do we have all of these? We use like the same couple ones. It's just me and my wife, so it's not like there's that many. You know, we don't have 10 kids running around the house throwing cups out the corners, and just going from there. But
Bro, I'm saying, speaking of just like random stuff, we, wife and I actually got into like another kind of like curiosity when we were sitting there talking. And she she wanted a hot dog, so I turned around being silly and I threw some bologna at her. Totally sniped her right in the face too, bro. Like one of those cheese videos.
headshot.
I launched this across the living room, got her dead in the forehead. I was like, "Gotcha." um, but she was like, "Yo, I asked for a hot dog. Why did you throw this bologna at me?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Bologna is just a pancake hot dog." She was like, "No, it's not." I was like, look how bologna's made. Look how a hot dog's made. The skin's just on the outside of the ring. It's made the same exact way. Tell me I'm wrong. Bologna is totally just a pancake hot dog.
I could see it. I could see that. I mean, at the end of the day, like, does it really matter? Like, see, that's the thing. Like, some people are iffy about like food. So here's one like for you. I don't know if you're a stickler about this, but I grew up with a family member of mine that was a stickler about food touching on plates. She did not like her
Right.
food to touch each other. And it
Man, I bet
never,
Thanksgiving was a hell of a time.
dude, I'm telling you, I never understood that mentality. I'm like, why do you care? It all ends up in the same place.
See, that's me. That's my thought process. I just be stacking that stuff like it's money in a bank account, bro. I'm like, I want some of this. I want some of that. Who threw that goddamn Adidas? Let me get some of this.
Yeah, like I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not gonna take my green beans and my mac and cheese and stir them up in a pot and just go to town on it. Not like that, but I mean, I'm not gonna freak out if the green beans and mac and cheese touch each other. Like, that's, I don't know.
A lot of people disagree, though. I don't know. Maybe they like their food not touching. I don't know. For me, I'm the same way. But like, I put like gravy and like corn on top of my mashed potatoes all the time. I'll do that.
See, that's not that weird though. You know what I mean? That's not that
You
weird.
want to talk about weird? Guess what I freaking learned today, bro? Iceland is home to necropants.
Necropants? What?
Necropants. It is freaking human skin from way the heck back when that they made pants out of somebody's freaking skin. And like the pecker and everything's still there. But that is the wildest thing that I have learned from TikTok lately is Iceland is home to necropants. Supposedly there's like another set out of there or whatever, which really freaks me out. But you want to talk about some off the wall shit. Iceland is home to necropants. I about died when I figured that out. I've never heard of that. And like, I'm Native American, whatever. I've got that in my blood. I've heard of a lot of wild things being used for, using the whole animal to make sure you get the most out of it. And that's how they used it. But necropants, bro?
That is not where I thought this conversation was going to go at all, because I thought this was necroplants. And I was like, "Oh, you mean like the plants that eat shit or whatever, the carnivorous plants?" No, I'm all sorts of up. You got me over here on like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ed Gein type shit. Like, that's quite disturbing if you want me to be honest with you.
Would you then call them skinny jeans?
That is fucking lame, but actually really good at the same time.
Isn't it, bro? I don't know. That was the first thought that came to my mind. I saw them and I was like, yo, these some skinny jeans. Speaking of kind of what's happening around the world and whatnot, there's been some insane flooding in Washington. I just wanted to touch that a little bit. Washington, D.C. to be more specifically, and Vegas. I seen this hilarious video of this guy just chilling, surfing the streets of Vegas, right? All this stuff plowing around and everything in the water, and he's on like this turtle floaty with all like alcohol bottles. Who the hell knows what's in that water? I mean, we all know Vegas, right?
Oh, and Vegas water. Watch out for them
dude
needles.
Is just chilling. I'm saying, but he is chilling on a freaking turtle float in the middle of Vegas, just floating down the street, which bad thing, but talk about everybody taking the best of a shat situation and really just making the most of it, dude. But this man going down the road, and I'm not talking about a little bit of water. I'm talking about enough water to where it's like, if you're like 5'11", it's like nipple shoulder height.
Ooh,
it's
that's
some
pretty,
real water.
That's some real water there. That's pretty tall. I mean, that's pretty far up there.
Man, I don't know if I'd just be surfing the streets on a turtle float. That's kind of ballsy for me, but this man was living it up, bro.
Man, you gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. You might be stepping on stuff in the water or get hurt. But I mean, it's better to look on the bright side of things rather than the negative side of things. I think it's just one of them things where let's make the most that we can. I mean, it's a terrible situation, but let's twist it and let's make it a good situation instead of focusing on the negative. And it should be like that. You know what I mean? Because if all we focus on is the negative, then we're just going to become negative people.
Dude, I got something to tell you about involving that, man. So this past weekend, I was out at my family and friends' house and stuff, and we're all swimming in the pool, right? And we worked, weeks getting this pool. It's not just one you set up on top of ground. It goes in the ground a little bit. You got to level it out, set it all up, all the sidings, metal, miserable to do. But after hating it for like 2 weeks, I finally got the balls to go out there and go enjoy it and swim. We had some fun celebrating some birthday parties. So we're all having good fun, doing whatever for the party, and all the kids start screaming belly flop contest.
Oh boy.
So what does Bubba do? He gets right up on top of this ladder, and I cover my face and I go for it. Now, to give you a little bit of context, I'm about 6 foot tall. This water is maybe 4.5 foot deep on a good day, but it's a belly flop, right? So I'm like, I'm good, whatever. I'll just cover my face and full send this baby. Like I was ready. So I cover my face, I take my glasses and hat off. I'm ready to flop my fat flabs and smack that water with the force of God. My feet go over my head and I needle dive face first to the bottom of this pool, smacking like my nose forehead
Ow.
area straight into the bottom. I thought I saw God for 6 seconds. I hit that freaking floor so hard. But man, did it crack my neck and feel so amazing, dude. I don't need a chiropractor. I can just dive to my face in the bottom of a pool, bro. I've been like, I'm all loose and stuff, man. I feel good. But it hurt. And I tried to like play it off. I was like, no, it's cool. My nose was like bleeding in the middle. Man, it was bad.
Yeah, that pain and vision of God of those 7 broken vertebrae in your spine.
But I mean, it actually did crack my neck. It felt pretty freaking good. But I mean, we were just chilling, drinking some beers,
Speaking of family and friends, I've got a little quick story for you too, just over this past weekend, because it's funny, but up at the same time. So my wife's sister, they have a baby, and he was turning 2 this weekend. So my nephew, and they had a birthday party at like an indoor kids amusement park, right? Where they have a bunch of like the inflatables and like small carnival rides, like, the merry-go-round, the little mini Ferris wheel. So we're being a good aunt and uncle, and we're playing with him, and we're taking him up the slides and sliding down with him on the inflatables, and taking him through little obstacle courses, and he's loving it, and he's having a blast, and we're having a blast. And he's jumping around in this one little bounce house, but this bounce house is raised up off the ground by about 3.5 feet. So it has these steps on the outside of it that lead into it. And that's how you walk into it. Now the steps, the steps have like these grit on them, so you keep your traction. So if you have socks on, you don't just slide off the steps, right? Well, we're sitting there and we're sitting there talking to his mom and having a good time. And she steps away for just a moment to grab something. And we're sitting here watching him, and we're having a conversation. And all of a sudden, like a bat out of hell, I mean, he just comes flying out of there and just tumbles on the steps, bonks his noggin, and we're like catching him like mid-fall, and we're just like, we're like, holy shit. I mean, like he cuts like a front flip on the stairs, like as we're both catching him, like I'm grabbing his legs, so my wife is like grabbing his torso, and he's like still in motion, just fumbling, and I'm just like, and we're like, are you okay? I'm sitting, and my wife is sitting there holding him and everything, and
little man came in like a wrecking ball, bro.
He came out of that thing like he was just about to ready to walk on water. And of course he cries for a second, but his mom raises him to be a real tough cookie and everything. And she's sitting there, and she's like, you're fine. And within like 30 seconds, he's cool and chill and everything. But I was just like, holy like he just came out of there like lightning. Like I was like, we're sitting there like we got eyes, but like he just came out so fast, just did not give a about the steps, and was just gone. We're just like, oh. It was like one of those things where, like, I'm talking about, like, you've got kids, you've got a kid, and as things get older, and I'm sure you've been around nieces and nephews and other family members, how like
we call those like yay moments, when like they do something and it hurts a little bit, but it's not that bad. So everybody just like looks up and we're like, yay, and we just start clapping and and you're like, you're good, right? And then they smile and they're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. We call them yay moments.
Yeah, like you don't want to focus on like the negative or the pain, because you like it's not that big of a deal. I mean, let's not overinflate it and make it a bigger deal than it needs to be.
Make a mountain out of a molehill, right? It stops that kind of knee-jerk reaction.
Exactly.
Kind of gives them that level-headed thought process.
Exactly. But we're just like, I was just like, and my wife is like, how could that happen? We were watching him. I'm like, honey, you saw how fast he came out of there. I mean, like he was like,
she came out of left field, bro. Like you had Big John to be there ready.
No, I'm telling. We were standing like right there beside the entrance, like literally 6 inches from the stairs, and he's just gone. I'm just like, holy cow. Like we're just not expecting that. You know what I mean? Like it's always like kids always get hurt when you least expect it. And I'm just like,
Right, right.
I just know me. Like, I don't know if I ever become a parent, I feel like I would probably be the more overprotective one because the whole time, like after he like tumbled out of there, like the whole time, the rest of the time he's getting off of rides, I'm like, I got my hands like right on him. I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen again.
Yep,
I'm like,
yep.
but I'm
Dude,
like,
that's so me. And I totally thought that wasn't gonna be me. I was like, I'm gonna be the chill parent, whatever. But dude, I'm like preemptive on everything. I'm trying to find ways, and I do it subconsciously, bro. I'm just like trying to find ways. Because like, let's be honest, we all did some wild shit as kids, you know, like
absolutely.
it just comes out of nowhere. Like, you remember those cigarette lighters back in the day that were in cars, you pushed them in, they turned like red hot. We never knew what they were, but they popped out once they got hot.
I remember those.
Dude, I cannot tell you how many times I like accidentally burnt stuff like hitting that, messing around in the car and
Yep.
stuff and pop out. And like there was even this one time, like I pulled it out and I was like, ooh, pretty red. Here comes my dumb ass. I'm gonna touch it. You know, like Gabriel Iglesias, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna touch it. I touched that sucker and bro, it lit me up like a bonfire in the South, man. I was jacked up for a week, but I tell you what, I never did that shit again.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, you learn and you learn quick. I think that's
Sometimes you just gotta learn the hard way. I'm stubborn, bro. I've been that way my whole life.
I don't know. I think that's like a, that it goes back to like friends and family and like, I think as we're raised in like in the South, man, we put an extra emphasis, I think, on friends and family and really
Right.
trying to build a good environment, both professionally and personally in life, is surrounding
Hmm.
yourself with good friends and well, you don't get to pick your family, but hopefully surrounding yourself with good family members, and surrounding yourself with a good work environment and just the value of that and the value that leads to becoming and maturing yourself as a person. We place a lot of emphasis on outward experiences in life.
Right, right. And sometimes we can get caught up in that outward stuff, but there's so many things that you can learn from other people, but sometimes you got to take a moment and look in a bit, you know? I mean, it's very easy to start looking for other vices and other things to make you feel better. And it's not always something as like serious as drugs. Like for me, I had a point where I was always going to the gym to the point it was making me sick and stuff, and I had to look inward for my confidence and whatnot. And just like we do with our kids with those yay moments, there's so many things that you can learn from yourself just looking in and really just remembering who you are as a person, what you love and enjoy. And those Sunday cookouts help with that so
Oh
much, and
yeah.
just leaning on one another. And I love that about, kind of that southern way or whatever I was brought up. I'm sure a lot of other families do it all over the United States, but man, if I don't love me a good cookout, dude.
Absolutely, man. There down here in the South, man, a good family cookout. You know what I mean? Like it's a good time. You got the barbecue and the hamburgers on the grill. Everybody's drinking sweet tea. You're just laughing, hanging out. You got football on. You're playing a pool, playing cards. Hanging out by the pool.
I'm
It's a good
saying,
time.
we even had like one of those ice cream makers. It was like the old school one though. You didn't plug that sucker in. It had a handle on the side of that mug. And like you put all
Yo,
the stuff to make the ice cream in the middle of this like silver tin, then you put the ice around it as you set it in there. Rock salt on the ice. You keep adding ice, but you got to crank that sucker and it gets harder and
and harder.
harder
Yo, I
and
remember
harder,
those.
man. And we used to all like have the kids and stuff out at like Lake Texoma. Is down in Texas at Texoma, Texas, Oklahoma. That's how they got the name of the lake. Wow, they really thought that out. But anyways, we'd be sitting there turning, and I just remember being like, "Mama, I can't do this no more." So my mama would have to come over and start cranking it.
You
But it was
know,
a great time.
Speaking of ice cream, you were telling me that Miller Lite was making like an ice cream flavor or something. What's that about?
Bro, so last year, Miller Lite kind of like jumped on the food brands kind of sector of products, and they made like weird scented candles and stuff like that. Like IKEA made a meatball candle. All right.
Wait,
Um, yeah, Shake Shack made a burger in the park candle, and McDonald's made a 6 candle quarter pounder set. Okay. And Miller
Why?
Lite has now created a candle that fills your home with the smell of a dive bar and made ice cream that tastes like it.
Like Miller, like ice cream that tastes like Miller Lite?
No, like a dive bar, not like
Oh, I
Miller Lite,
was about to
like a
say.
dive bar. That's why I kind of started off with the candles. It straight up tastes like a dive bar. They're called ice cream dive bars. No kidding.
Huh. Wow.
And I don't get me wrong, like I like going out, having a few drinks, having fun, but I'm never sitting at home like, it tastes really good right now. One of them dirty old dive bars.
No,
I
see,
don't know, man.
I'm not a big drinker anymore, mainly because I did too much drinking when I was younger than college days, you know. Um,
I just hate getting dehydrated, man. There ain't enough Pedialyte in the world when I get friggin' dehydrated to get a hangover. Like, yeah, bro, I be slurping that stuff like it's candy.
but dude, Miller Lite, that was actually one of the beers that I really liked drinking. I was a big, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, everybody has those one beer that they really like. Miller Lite was the one that I really, really enjoyed
Mine used
as a
to be
kid.
Coors Light, but like, I don't know, man. There was one time I just grabbed one. I literally drank like half the beer and it just made me sick to my stomach. And then I looked over and Miller High Life was like the cheapest thing on the shelf and it tasted pretty decent. So I was like, here I am. However, I was out in Arizona for a little while for college and I found 805. And if I could get that freaking beer up north, I would freak out, man. But there's still some like wild ones out there, like Kraft Mac and Cheese. They made an ice cream that tastes like mac and cheese.
Uh,
And all I could just picture is like that powder, bro. Like, no way am I eating that powder in ice cream, bro. Like, French's even made like ketchup ice pops. Like
dude,
I
like
can
this.
understand like the pickle pops, but come on, bro.
Uh,
I
I
don't
mean,
know, man. I think they're really going out there with this.
I would try the stuff. I mean, I'm not against trying new things. You know,
Which don't forget it does have alcohol in it still. They're just like a beer in a bar. They're 5%
oh, wait a
ABV,
minute.
so average alcohol. So they do have alcohol in them.
That would be pretty good. You know, there was another topic I wanted to add into this that I remember. You remember last week I was telling you about. I'll save it for next week. This is
Mhm.
that topic. And I think we can kind of throw this into multiple topics. I think we can throw this under like today's up world and with Bubba because it would really tie to both. And it's the multi-level marketing schemes. That
Okay.
is wild, man. You know what I'm talking about, like the makeup selling and then the seminar type where it's like you pay me and I'll teach you how to make money so you can teach other people, and it's just a giant pyramid scheme.
Mhm.
Man, and dude, those things are getting everywhere. I don't know if you go on. Every time I open up Instagram, which isn't super often, but every time I go on there, if I'm scrolling for more than a minute, I see some bullshit about seminars or learn how to do this or learn about real estate or all this. And it's just like, this is just a marketing scheme. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, bro, if you were really making the money that you say you can make, you're not going to be showing other people to dilute the market. What the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any
Yeah, that
sense to
just doesn't
me.
make sense off the top of my head. I feel like there's better ways to be able to get licensed and get educated and get into that sector, and that's what makes it so difficult. And people are trying to find like shortcuts and whatnot to be able to get there.
Dude, people
That's my
always
thought
do that
process. But
about
there's
every
bigger ones
process.
than that. Like think about that one that I'm trying to think of. I guess I won't mention the company's name specifically, but there's a company, right? They sell weed killer for broadleaf weeds, and the biggest target is dandelions. However, that same company that makes heart aspirin for healthy heart and vitamins and stuff like that, it is made from dandelions. So
What?
they're teaching you and telling you these weeds are bad and all of this stuff, but it's actually the healthiest thing that you could be taking. So they're making money on both sides of it. That's like if you go into um let's just say Walmart. I'll give you an easy example like soap, right? You see the Gain foaming soap, and then you see Dawn, the power soap and stuff, and it's all different hand soaps and stuff for washing dishes. There's like 5 different brands, but then when you flip the bottle over, it's all the same company making them.
Oh man,
P&G,
dude,
P&G.
those. I don't know if you've ever done any research into that, but you go in and you realize that like one company owns like 45 different companies and they have their hands in
Mhm.
multiple pockets, you know? And I'm just like, wow, these, it's like,
They create a product that creates a need, and then they create the opposite void, and they make money on both sides of it. I mean, look at what Disney's doing, right? You can't
yes.
even go to the Disney park now wearing whatever clothes you want to. You can't wear costumes unless you're under a certain age. You can't, which
What?
some of the clothing I can agree with. There was a lady that had a tied up top that could literally have ripped open at any point in time. And be aware of your surroundings, and I understand that. But at the same time, the kids aren't paying for the tickets, it's the parents. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
all of us have been bought in. Disney started making amazing movies 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, they've been around a long time. So it's not just for the kids. There is an adult factor into it. And look how dark, like Pirates of the Caribbean is. I would call that very much an adult attraction audience. So it's kind of crazy that they have become such a monopoly in that entertainment side of the section that they can just be like, nope, you can't come in with this. And they're just kind of like crapping on their money. I feel like, I don't know. What do you think?
It's complicated and above
It's
our
kind
pay.
of crazy.
Dude,
But there's
it's
a bitching with Bubba right there, man. We'll just throw that one in right there with it. Those multi-level marketing schemes are
dude,
crazy, dude. They're getting so big.
dude, like, dude, corporate, man, man, those people that work in corporate, like the real high up people, man, they know so much loopholes and ways around things and just how to maximize profits. It's insane. It's ridiculous. But I think
They're
there's
really educated.
they are. You got to be really educated. I think there's one last topic that I wanted to look into. Male birth control. Bubba, if they're making birth control pills like women, or
Yep.
um, shots in your arm like women, would you take male birth control?
I'm actually kind of curious to see where this one goes. And the reason I really wanted to talk about this one is you know the birth control that is currently out there for women. The hormonal imbalances are so massive. It can cause terrible headaches. It can cause massive weight gain and stuff, and not even while they're necessarily on it. I've seen you know ladies that have come off of birth control after taking it for so long. It has so many adverse side effects that I think this could actually help. And I'm not just talking about like spermicide and stuff like that. It's a pill basically at this point. I don't know if they've gotten to shots or the arm device or anything for males yet, and I don't know a lot about it as it's just kind of being made and coming to light. But I think it could be an amazing way that if they can figure out how to properly balance testosterone levels and take care of it, I feel like it could really help with the world. And I have a very strong stance in allowing people to do what they want, and I mind my business, dude. That's
Mm-hmm.
me. And I think that this could help alleviate a lot of stresses and stuff, and help take care of more people. And man, that's something I can get behind, pun intended.
You know, I
I
100%
think
agree
it's
with
pretty
you on
cool.
this. I would love to see more and more in the vein of this, especially um, for those people that don't want children. I mean, obviously, their vasectomies are an option for men, but I guess less
Hmm.
invasive procedures. Not everyone can afford to go do that, or has the insurance, or doesn't, or is medically cleared to do stuff like
And
that.
hysterectomies are insanely invasive. Like,
Yeah.
those are very rough procedures, man. Like, I just feel like this could really help kind of level that field and allow people to have healthier sex lives and really drive the emotions up, and just really uplift people. So I'm really kind of excited to see how it goes and how it turns out. I just hope they put the time to do it right. That way people aren't getting messed up. Like, I was really nervous about the COVID vaccine when it came out. I know everybody was. So being able to see them taking care of people is kind of a good side, like I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I've gained from this is that me and you we'll be in those trial runs. We'll be in those beta runs in there. So we'll you know,
Bro,
women
I'm
beware.
saying if they're about to be like, "Hey, you wanna take this pill for a month? Here's a few thousand G's." I
Wait a
might
minute.
have to say something, like, "Hey, yo."
Slide me. Everybody, listen. We could always use a little bit extra money. Who don't want some more money in their pockets? You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm saying, and along the lines of trying new things, have you ever done fantasy football? This one might blow your mind knowing my background on football.
No, I am not very well versed in football at all. If you want me to be honest with you.
Man, I love me some football, and my wife curls up in a blanket when it gets nice and cold outside. I've got football on. I'm making some chili, dude. It's a whole ritual for us and massive. But I'm really excited. Coming up here in September, I'm going to be starting. Well, I'm not going to be starting it myself, but I'm going to be joining a group and creating my first fantasy football team and keeping up with it. And dude, I am so excited to like just jump into that side and try some new things. I can't wait to see how it is. So I'll let you know if I'm worth it. It's my first time, so maybe use a little lube before you start coming at me, baby.
We're going in dry. Listen, you're gonna
Dude,
have
I'm
to give
saying.
me some. You're gonna have to definitely give me some info on that. I'd like to learn a little bit just to see, because I don't know anything about how it works or anything, but I did hear that you can make money off of it. So let's hope for some couple extra stacks in Bubba's pocket. You know.
Shoot, if I could figure that out, man, maybe we could figure something out there. Dude, and another really cool new thing that I wanted to bring up to you. Have you ever heard of graphene?
Isn't that the stuff? No, that's the pencil stuff in pencils. That's graphite. Is it
Not
graphene?
graphite.
No.
That's
What is that?
graphite. So check this out. Graphene is an ultra light, and I'm talking lighter than carbon fiber, right? Ultra light, and um, it is this material essentially that is so strong and so light that a sheet of paper of graphene can stop a 7.62 bullet point blank.
What? Bro,
It's
I
that
need to
thick.
see this.
And to give you an example, it would weigh 1/16th of the sheet of paper itself.
What? That's insane.
How freaking crazy is that? Technology is getting pretty freaking cool. And man, like I've got a top of the line computer. I'm a total tech head. I love watching guys like Linus Tech Tips, Jay's 2 cents, Paul's Hardware, stuff like that. I've always really loved like cutting edge technology and what they're doing. But they're creating ways to keep our boys safe and stuff. And I assume that's where this is going to be going because its tensile strength has been tested by shooting guns at it. So that's kind
Yeah.
of where I've kind of seen. But could you imagine lightening armor so much that it weighs less than paper and can stop multiple rounds without fracturing like a ballistics plate?
That would be pretty much a marvel. I would love to see that. I think we need to look into that. We
It could
really
really
do.
start like, and I'm such a sci-fi nerd, dude. So like, I always love talking about stuff like getting to Mars or whatever. Or I always love listening what NASA's up to and what they're doing and different discoveries, and just learning what's out there and how cool things can get. So like, when I heard about this graphene, I was just absolutely detonated on the the pure science behind it, which if you get a chance to look into this, definitely look into it, y'all. Graphene is a really cool material, and it just shows you what we can do as people. Like we were talking about that success earlier, man. Like we can do so many things because everything is considered impossible until it's done, right? Nobody can do
Absolutely.
it, and then it gets done. We're like, no way. Man, so if I can leave you guys with anything from this week's episode, go out there and find your success. Find what makes you feel like you've done it, boys. Whether it's your small steps, you have to set goals and ways to get there. Anybody can set a goal, but you have to have a plan of action, a path to get there. What do you think, man?
You know, as far as success is concerned, it needs to be done in a way that makes you happy. Because setting
Yes.
goals and achievements, are temporary. That feeling is temporary. It is true. But at the same time, knowing that you're progressing as a person or progressing financially or relationship wise, it's worth something. So set those goals, get up, do it even if you don't want to, even on the worst of days. If you were able to do it, get up and do it, and you will achieve something and you're bound for greatness.
Yep, one foot in front of the other. Edison didn't find 10,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. He found the one way to do it. So let's
A-
go out there and get our success.
Absolutely.